For most of my childhood and early adulthood, I often heard a discouraging message from my parents that I would grow up to achieve nothing meaningful. As a result, I developed a narrow and negative mindset, lacked emotional awareness, and allowed other people's opinions to determine my value. However, in 2024, attending a psychology class taught by Master Min Trung became a turning point that completely changed how I viewed myself and the world around me. Before this experience, although I was a university student like many others, my way of thinking remained underdeveloped. I rarely reflected deeply, struggled to manage my emotions, and was extremely vulnerable to criticism. Any negative comment could easily hurt me, and I would immediately accept it as the truth. Over time, this habit made me feel insecure, unmotivated, and unsure about my future. At first, I was not interested in psychology at all. I even knew Mr. Trung beforehand but did not enjoy his presentations or teaching style. Unexpectedly, in 2024, he invited me to join his psychology class. With an open mind and a desire to learn something new, I decided to give it a chance. Through his lessons, I learned how to regulate my emotions, show empathy toward others, build knowledge through reading, develop essential life skills, and take better care of my health. Gradually, I applied these lessons to my daily life. I stopped living to satisfy others and began to embrace my true self. I adopted healthier eating habits, became more encouraging toward those around me, and maintained a more positive outlook. Looking back, I am proud of how far I have come. I now believe that my past does not define me. Instead, my consistent effort today is shaping a stronger and better version of myself for the future. As soon as I opened my eyes, I found myself at the Da Lat bus station. I immediately took out my phone, snapped a check-in photo, and posted a few words on Facebook. Hello, Da Lat. It's my first time in this city, meeting so many beloved friends in person. I'm here for a retreat with my psychology classmates after an amazing course. This isn't just a holiday, it's about turning digital connections into lifelong bonds and bringing our lessons to life in the heart of nature. I felt extremely excited while preparing for this trip, because Da Lat had always been a beautiful city that I had only seen on television. When I finally arrived and moved to the villa, I met several classmates who had arrived earlier. The moment we saw each other, happiness filled the air. We shook hands and hugged warmly, as this was our first time meeting face to face after knowing each other online. One of the highlights of the trip was visiting Khao Dat Ti Hill. We took photos, laughed together, and enjoyed the colorful flower fields. The scenery was breathtaking, with green tea rows, tall pine trees, high mountains, and fresh air everywhere. I truly felt that my lungs were happy as I breathed in the clean and peaceful atmosphere of Dalat. In the evening, we returned to the villa to cook, sing, and share personal stories. Some of us cried, while others listened with empathy and care. Our teacher offered thoughtful encouragement and helped us release emotional burdens, reminding us to stay strong and positive in life. This trip was not simply a vacation. It was a deep connection between people, nature, and the beautiful gifts of life. I will always cherish this memory and hope to return to Dalat someday. The sharp howling sound of the amplifier echoed through the hall, and my heart began to race uncontrollably. In that moment, fear completely took over my mind, and I was convinced that I would never be able to do this. Although I had spent a long time preparing, every instinct told me to run away. However, responsibility and the opportunity given to me forced me to face the crowd in the church. This experience marked a turning point in my life, as it taught me that true courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. I am just an ordinary believer, and I have never enjoyed standing in front of many people. Public speaking had always been my greatest fear because I knew I was not perfect and lacked presentation skills. Nevertheless, the pastor believed in me and wanted to help me overcome my limitations. He encouraged me to take on the role of Master of Ceremonies for a church program. I was deeply afraid of being judged. Yet I gradually realized that personal growth and success require confronting society and one's own insecurities. When I stepped onto the stage under the bright lights, holding a microphone and facing nearly 100 people, I took a deep breath and recalled the pastor's encouraging words. My voice trembled as I spoke the first sentence. But as I focused on my responsibility, my fear slowly faded away. After the program ended smoothly and I received positive feedback from the audience, I realized that fear is merely an emotion and,